page 87. The office did not identify any further actions that the CIA or FBI took in response to this intelligence product as it related to the Clinton plan intelligence. 5. Awareness by the Crossfire Hurricane investigators. The office located no evidence that in conducting the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, the FBI considered whether and how the Clinton plan intelligence might impact the investigation. No FBI personnel who were interviewed by the office recalled Crossfire Hurricane personnel taking any action to vet the Clinton plan intelligence. For example, Brian Otten stated that he could not recall anything that the FBI did to analyze or otherwise consider the Clinton plan intelligence, stating that it was just one data point. This stands in sharp contrast to a substantial reliance on the uncorroborated Steele reports, which at least some FBI personnel appeared to know was likely being funded or promoted by the Clinton campaign. For example, during a meeting in London on July 5, 2016, Steele provided his first report to Handling Agent 1. Handling Agent 1's notes from the meeting reflected that HC was aware of Steele's Brit firm seeking info. While Handling Agent 1 did not have an independent recollection of Steele explicitly stating that HC referred to Hillary Clinton, he could think of no other individual in that context to whom HC could possibly refer. On September 23, 2016, Stroke sent a link message to Brian Otten regarding the Michael Isikoff article that stated, "Look at the Yahoo article. I can definitely say at a minimum Steele's report should be viewed as intended to influence as well as to inform." October 11, 2016, Stroke sent a link message to OJC attorney Kevin Kleinsmith noting that Steele's unnamed client was presumed to be connected to the Clinton campaign in some way. Nor did the office identify any evidence that the FBI disclosed the contents of the Clinton plan intelligence to the OI attorney working on FISA matters related to Crossfire Hurricane. Similarly, the FBI did not disclose any of the Clinton plan intelligence materials to the FISC, despite relying on the uncorroborated Steele reporting in its FISA applications concerning Carter Page, and we uncovered no evidence that any one of the FBI considered doing so. Page 88. The office showed portions of the Clinton plan intelligence to a number of individuals who were actively involved in a Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Most advised they had never seen the intelligence before, and some expressed surprise and dismay upon learning of it. For example, the original Supervisory Special Agent on the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, Supervisory Special Agent 1, reviewed the intelligence during one of his interviews with the office. After reading it, Supervisory Special Agent 1 became visibly upset and emotional, left the interview room with his counsel, and subsequently returned to state emphatically that he had never been apprised of the Clinton plan intelligence and that had never seen the information referral memo. Supervisory Special Agent 1 expressed a sense of betrayal that no one had informed him of the intelligence. When the office cautioned Supervisory Special Agent 1 that we had not verified or corroborated the accuracy of the intelligence and its assertions regarding the Clinton campaign, Special Agent 1 responded firmly that regardless of whether its contents were true, he should have been informed of it. Former FBI General Counsel Baker also reviewed the Clinton plan intelligence during one of his interviews with the office. Baker stated that he had neither seen nor heard of the Clinton plan intelligence or the resulting referral memo prior to his interview with the office. He acknowledged the significance of the reporting and explained that had he known of it during the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, he would have viewed in a different and much more skeptical light information the FBI received from Steele concerning Trump's purported ties to Russia and the information received from attorney Michael Sussman that purported to show a secret communication channel between Trump Organization and Alpha Bank. Other evidence obtained by the office that appeared to be relevant to an analysis of the Clinton plan intelligence. As discussed above, according to the declassified Clinton plan intelligence, on July 26, 2016, Clinton allegedly approved a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to tie Trump to Russia as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. The office interviewed a number of individuals connected with the campaign as part of its investigation into the Clinton plan intelligence. One Foreign Policy Advisor 1, stated that she did not specifically remember proposing a plan to Clinton or other campaign leadership to stir up a scandal by tying Trump to Putin or Russia. Foreign Policy Advisor 1 stated, however, that it was possible that she had proposed ideas on the topics to the campaign leadership who may have approved those ideas. Page 89. Foreign Policy Advisor 1 recalled conversations with others in the campaign expressing their genuine concerns that the DNC hack was a threat to the electoral system and that Trump and his advisors appeared to have troubling ties to Russia. Foreign Policy Advisor 1 said it was also possible someone proposed an idea of seeking to distract attention from the investigation into Clinton's use of a private email server, but she did not specifically remember any such idea. Foreign Policy Advisor 1 advised that she did not recall the FBI coming up in any campaign conversations she had. Records obtained from Foreign Policy Advisor 1 reflect that on July 27, 2016, the day following candidate Clinton's purported authorization of the plan, Foreign Policy Advisor 1 circulated a draft public statement to certain of her colleagues. In the email circulating the draft statement, Foreign Policy Advisor 1 urged her colleagues to sign the draft statement, which criticized Trump for his comments about the NATO alliance and asserted that Trump's public statements concerning NATO were too friendly toward Russia. In her cover email, Foreign Policy Advisor 1 wrote in part, "We are writing to enlist your support for the attached public statement. Both of us are Hillary Clinton supporters and advisors, but hope that this statement could be signed by a bipartisan group. Donald Trump's repeated denigration of the NATO alliance, his refusal to support our Article 5 obligations to our European allies, and his kid-glove treatment of Russia and Vladimir Putin are among the most reckless statements made by a presidential candidate in memory." During the same week, Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook stated in media interviews that the campaign believed that the Russian government had carried out the DNC hack to assist Trump's electoral chances, and that Trump had made troubling statements concerning Russia. During an interview of former Secretary Clinton, the office asked if she had reviewed the information declassified by D&I Ratcliffe regarding her alleged plan to stir up a scandal between Trump and the Russians. Clinton stated, "It was really sad, but I get it. You have to go down every rabbit hole." She said that it looked like Russian disinformation to me. They're very good at it, you know. Clinton advised that she had a lot of plans to win the campaign, and anything that came into the public domain was available to her. In addition, the office interviewed several other former members of the Clinton campaign using declassified materials and regarding the purported plan approved by Clinton. Page 90. The campaign chairperson, John Podesta, stated they had not seen the declassified material before, characterized the information as ridiculous, and denied that the campaign was involved in any such plan. Jake Sullivan, the campaign senior policy advisor, stated that he had not seen the intelligence reporting before and had no reaction to it other than to say, "That's ridiculous." Although the campaign was broadly focused on Trump and Russia, Sullivan could not recall anyone articulating a strategy or plan to distract negative attention away from Clinton by tying Trump to Russia, but could not conclusively rule out the possibility. The campaign communications director, Jennifer Palmieri, who was also shown the referral memo, stated that she had never seen the memorandum before, found its contents to be ridiculous, and could not recall anything like this related to the campaign. She stated that Podesta, Mook, Sullivan, and herself were aware of a project involving ties between Trump and Russia being conducted by Perkins Coie, the campaign law firm, but she did not think Clinton was aware of it. Nor did she receive any direction or instruction from Clinton about the project. Another Foreign Policy Advisor, Foreign Policy Advisor 2, confirmed that the campaign was focused on Trump and Russia, but that focus was due to national security concerns and not designed to distract the public from Clinton's server issue. Foreign Policy Advisor 2 stated that she did not have a conversation with Clinton about a plan involving Trump and Russia during the Democratic convention, and she did not remember Clinton approving anything concrete, but that she would not necessarily have been involved in such strategy conversations. The office's review of certain communications involving Foreign Policy Advisor 1 and Foreign Policy Advisor 2, however, arguably provided some support for the notion that the Clinton campaign was engaged in an effort to plan in late July 2016 to encourage scrutiny of Trump's potential ties to Russia, that the campaign might have wanted to or expected law enforcement or other agencies to aid that effort, in part by concluding that the Russians were responsible for the hack. For example, on July 5, 2016, Foreign Policy Advisor 2 sent an email to 3 other campaign advisors, Individual 1, Individual 2, and Individual 3, in which she wrote, "We're looking for ways to build on Franklin Foer's great and scary piece on the Trump and Russia." Page 91. One thing I've heard from a few folks is that the Russia desk at State has been tracking and sounding an internal alarm about parallels between rhetoric, words, methods that Trump uses and Putin-supported European right-wing candidates. I'm told it goes beyond just populist stuff. I'd love to get my hands on details of what they are seeing. Can one of you help me run this down? I imagine INR or IC, intelligence community types, might also have some insight. Obviously need a bit of care here, but eager to get specifics or details. Foreign Policy Advisor 2 stated that she did not speak with anyone at the State Department about the issue. The information she mentioned in this email regarding the State Department's Russia desk came from an outside advisor who formerly worked at the State Department, Outside Advisor 1. In addition, On July 25, 2016, Foreign Policy Advisor 1 had the following text message exchange with Foreign Policy Advisor 2. Foreign Policy Advisor 2. Can you see if Special Assistant to the President and National Security Council member would tell you if there's a formal FBI or other investigation into the hack? Foreign Policy Advisor 1. She won't say anything more to me. Sorry. Told me she went as far as she could. Foreign Policy Advisor 2. Okay. Do you have others who might? Foreign Policy Advisor 1. Has Individual 2 tried her? Curious if she would react differently to Individual 2. I can also try OVP, Office of the Vice President. They might say more. Foreign Policy Advisor 2. I don't know if he has, but can ask. Would also be good to try Office of the Vice President or anyone in intelligence community. Foreign Policy Advisor 1. Left messages for OVP, but Politico just sent me a push notification stating that they are indeed investigating. Foreign Policy Advisor 2. FBI just put in our statement. Thanks. In sum, Foreign Policy Advisor 1's July 27, 2016 email to her colleagues regarding Trump, Russia, and NATO the day after Clinton purportedly approved a plan to tie Trump to Russia is consistent with the substance of the purported plan. Page 92. In addition, Foreign Policy Advisor 1's text message exchange with Foreign Policy Advisor 2 supports the notion that at least some officials within the campaign were seeking information about the FBI's response to the DNC hack, which would be consistent with and a means of furthering the purported plan. Moreover, the campaign's funding of the Steele report and the Alphabet allegations, as described in greater detail in sections 4D1B2 and 5E1B, provide some additional support for the credibility to the information set forth in the Clinton Plan Intelligence. 7. Other events occurring at the time of the purported approval of the Clinton Plan Intelligence. As set forth in section 4D1H1, some of the significant Steele dossier reporting related to Carter Page and his alleged role as a conduit for passing Russian information between Paul Manafort and the Trump campaign. This uncorroborated allegation is significantly undercut by the evidence examined by the office and that, at the time, was in the possession of the Crossfire Hurricane investigators. As discussed below, this evidence was never present to OI or the FIC at any time during the pendency of the Page FISA surveillance. Furthermore, the evidence gathered by the office revealed a concerted effort on the part of Fusion GPS in late July 2016, the same time frame the Clinton Plan Intelligence was reportedly approved, to communicate with the press regarding the Page allegations in the Steele reporting. For example, on July 19, 2016, Peter Fritsch of Fusion GPS emailed Steve Levine, identified in his signature block as a Washington correspondent for Quartz, and asked of Levine, "Have you ever come across this cat, Carter Page? He strikes me as a fraud." Mr. Levine responded that he knew Page. He, Levine, was on vacation, but would reach out when he returned. On July 22, 2016, Fritsch emailed Franklin Foer of Slate, stating, "Now we need to do the next level, which is in the works." Foer responded, "Good deal. What's the next level? And is it a sex scandal?" Fritsch replied, "It's who Carter Page met with in early July and what they talked about." On July 25, 2016, Mark Hosenball of Reuters sent Glenn Simpson at Fusion GPS an email stating, "If you have stuff on Carter Page guy, including his most recent Russian excursions, please send. Doing 2 Russian hacking stories today and might be able to do another as early as tomorrow." Page 93. On July 26, 2016, Fritsch emailed Jay Solomon of the Wall Street Journal and wrote, "OTR, the easy scoop waiting for confirmation. That dude Carter Page met with Igor Sechin when he went to Moscow earlier this month. Sechin discussed energy deals and possible lifting of sanctions on himself. He also met with a senior Kremlin official called Devyakin, who told Page they have good compromise on Hillary and offered to help. He also warned Page they have good compromise on the Donald. I know of one person who is chasing this and has asked Kremlin read these meets." This is text. This is me reading their writing. This is not me screwing up. The response: "There was no meeting between Sechin and Page at the Kremlin. Well, okay, maybe somewhere else. No comment. Needless to say, a senior Trump advisor meeting with a former KGB official close to Putin, who is on the Treasury sanctions list, days before the Republican convention, and a big Russian-backed WikiLeaks would be huge news." That same day, Solomon responded, "Page is neither confirming nor denying." Fritsch replied, "Call Adam Schiff or DIFI and contact Senator Dianne Feinstein. For that matter, I bet they are concerned about what Page was doing other than giving a speech over 3 days in Moscow." Fritsch later emailed Solomon that it's kind of hard to believe that the Wall Street Journal is ignoring the Russia stuff. Literally everyone is chasing this expletive now. Also on July 26, 2016, the date of the purported approval of the Clinton plan intelligence, Fritsch reached back out to Stephen Levine, of course, and wrote, Carter Page is of some urgency now. Can you talk? Levine replied that he could and asked if Fritsch wanted to talk by phone. On that same day, July 26, 2016, Glenn Simpson emailed Jane Meyer of the New Yorker magazine with the subject line, Carter Page. Simpson wrote, "Jane, I understand that you are interested in him." 2 days later, Meyer responded to Simpson, advising him that her editor, among others, was interested in setting up an off-the-record meeting to discuss stories and learn more about your research. Page 94. On July 28, 2016, Simpson sent Jake Berkowitz, an employee of Fusion GPS, an email with a subject line, Carter Page, TLO clear. Simpson had Berkowitz to send the Carter Page TLO clear to Tom Hamburger, ASAP, at the Washington Post. Later that day, Berkowitz sent Hamburger a copy of the Carter Page clear information. Importantly, on the very next day, July 29, 2016, Hamburger sent Simpson with the subject line, RE, FYI, we are getting kickback to the idea, and wrote that Page met with Sechin and Ivanov. It's explicitive, impossible, said one of our Moscow sources. Simpson responded to Hamburger's email and stated, okay. Hamburger then emailed Simpson, FYI, passed on by other reporter who likely doesn't like this story, just letting you know. Thus, in one day, and months before the Crossfire Hurricane investigators used the alleged Page meetings in its initial and subsequent renewal of FISA applications, a Moscow-based U.S. media source for the Washington Post appears to have been able to debunk to its satisfaction the Page meeting. Several weeks later, on September 16, 2016, Fritsch emailed Michael Isikoff of Yahoo News, as discussed below. On September 23, 2016, Isikoff was the first journalist to publish an article about the alleged meetings between Page and Sechin. Fritsch wrote, Glenn Simpson says you may soon break the Carter Page story? I ask because if so, I'm going to stiff-arm someone else chasing. Isikoff replied, got it. I'm going to talk to Glenn Simpson in a bit. Thereafter, on September 20, 2016, Simpson sent Isikoff a Word document identified as a transcript on Page's July 7, 2016 speech in Moscow. The above-quoted emails from Fusion GPS to members of the media are a sampling of the correspondence regarding Carter Page that the Clinton DNC-funded Fusion GPS sent to various members of the media from late July 2016, the purported date the Clinton plan intelligence was approved through the fall of 2016. In addition, as relates to the Clinton plan intelligence and as discussed in detail in Section 4E1C3 below, September 19, 2016, Michael Sussman, a lawyer at Perkins Coie, the firm that was then serving as counsel to the Clinton campaign, met with James Baker, the FBI General Counsel at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., page 95. Sussman provided Baker with purported data and white papers that allegedly demonstrated a covert communications channel between the Trump Organization and a Russia-based bank, Alpha Bank. Sussman's billing records reflect that he was regularly billing the Clinton campaign for his work on the Alpha Bank allegations. Importantly, on July 29, 2016, 3 days after the purported approval of the Clinton plan intelligence, Michael Sussman and Mark Elias, the general counsel to the Clinton campaign, met with Fusion GPS personnel in Elias's office at Perkins Coie. Sussman billed this time in this meeting to the Clinton campaign under the category General Political Advice. Thereafter, on July 31, 2016, Sussman billed the Clinton campaign for 24 minutes with the billing description, Communications with Mark Elias regarding server issue. In compiling the disseminating the Alpha Bank allegations, Sussman consistently met and communicated with Elias. On October 31, 2016, a little over 1 week before the election, multiple media outlets reported that the FBI had received and was investigating allegations concerning a purported secret channel between the Trump Organization and Alpha Bank. On that day, the New York Times published an article titled Investigating Donald Trump, FBI sees no clear link to Russia. The article stated that the FBI possessed information concerning what cyber experts said appeared to be a mysterious back channel between the Trump Organization and Alpha Bank. The article further reported that the FBI had spent weeks examining computer data showing an odd activity to a Trump Organization server, and that the New York Times had been provided computer logs that evidenced this activity. The article also noted that the FBI had not found any conclusive or direct link between Trump and the Russian government, and that Hillary Clinton supporters pushed for these investigations. On the same date, Slate published an article titled, "Was a Trump Server Communicating with Russia?" that likewise discussed at length the allegations that Sussman provided to the FBI. Notably, also on that day, Mother Jones published David Korn's article titled, "A Veteran Spy Has Given the FBI Information Alleging a Russian Operation to Cultivate Donald Trump. Has the Bureau investigated this material?" The Mother Jones piece referenced the Forbes Slate article on Alpha Bank and also disclosed that it had reviewed memos prepared by the former Western intelligence official, page 96. Korn included information on his October 31, 2016 article that referenced the Isikoff earlier Yahoo News piece on Carter Page and the Russians. In addition, the Korn article contained allegations that were consistent with those contained in some of the Steele dossier reports that eventually were published in January 2017 by BuzzFeed. In the months before the publication of these articles, Sussman had communicated with the media and provided them with the Alpha Bank data and allegations. Sussman also kept Mark Elias apprised of his efforts, when Elias in turn communicated with the Clinton campaign's leadership about potential media coverage of the situations of these issues. On September 1, 2016, Sussman met with the New York Times reporter who published the aforementioned article and billed his time to the Clinton campaign. On September 15, 2016, Elias provided an update to the Clinton campaign regarding the Alpha Bank allegations and not yet published New York Times article, sending an email to senior members of the Clinton campaign, which he billed as the campaign Alpha article. On the same day that these two articles were published, the Clinton campaign posted a tweet through Clinton's Twitter account that stated, Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump Organization to a Russian-based bank. The tweet included a statement from Clinton campaign advisor Jake Sullivan that made reference to the media coverage of the article and stated in relevant part that the allegations in the articles could be the most direct link yet between Donald Trump and Moscow, that this secret hotline may be the key to unlocking the mystery of Trump's ties to Russia, and that we can only assume the federal authorities will now explore this direct connection between Trump and Russia as part of their existing probe into Russia's meddling in our elections. The fact that Clinton campaign immediately issued a tweet concerning the articles after funding the Alpha Bank allegations and receiving foreknowledge of the articles from Sussman and Elias tends to support the notion that the Alpha Bank allegations were part of a Clinton campaign plan to tie Trump to Russia, page 97. 2. Prosecution decisions. The aforementioned facts reflect a rather startling and inexplicable failure to adequately consider and incorporate the Clinton plan intelligence into the FBI's investigative decision-making in the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Indeed, had the FBI opened the Crossfire Hurricane investigation and as an assessment, in turn, gathered the analyzed data in concert with the information from the Clinton plan intelligence, it is likely that the information received would have been examined at minimum with a more critical eye. A more deliberate examination would have increased the likelihood of alternative and analytical hypotheses and reduced the risk of reputational damage both to the targets of the investigation as well as ultimately to the FBI. The FBI thus failed to act on what should have been, when combined with other incontrovertible facts, a clear warning sign that the FBI might then be the target of an effort to manipulate or influence law enforcement process for political purposes during the 2016 presidential election. Indeed, CIA Director Brennan and other intelligence officials recognized the significance of the intelligence by expeditiously briefing it to the President, Vice President, the Director of the National Intelligence, the Attorney General, and the Director of the FBI, and other senior administration officials. Whether or not the Clinton plan intelligence was based on reliable or unreliable information, or was ultimately true or false, it should have prompted the FBI personnel to immediately undertake an analysis of the information and to act with far greater care and caution, receiving and analyzing and relying upon materials of partisan origins. such as the Steele reports and the alphabetic allegations. The FBI also should have disseminated the Clinton plan intelligence more widely among those responsible for the Crossfire Hurricane investigation so that they could effectively incorporate into their analysis and decision-making and the representations to the OI attorneys and ultimately the FISC. Whether these failures by U.S. officials amounted to criminal acts, however, is a different question. In order for the above-described facts to give rise to criminal liability under federal civil rights statutes, the office would need to, for example, identify one or more persons who knew the Clinton campaign intended to falsely accuse its opponent with specific information or allegations, intentionally disregard a particular civil right of a particular person, such as the right to be free of unreasonable searches or seizures, and 3, then intentionally aided that effort by taking investigative steps based on those allegations while knowing that they were false. In order to prove a criminal violation, the false statements and/or obstruction statutes by government official, the office would need to prove that the official willfully and intentionally failed to inform the FISC or caused another to fail or inform the FISC of the Clinton plan intelligence in order to conceal that information from the court. Page 98. Similarly, to prove a criminal violation of the perjury statutes, the office would need to prove, among other things, that the official made a false statement to the court with knowledge of its falsity rather than a result of confusion, mistake, or faulty memory. Although the evidence we collected revealed a troubling disregard for the Clinton plan intelligence and potential confirmation bias in favor of continued investigative scrutiny of Trump and his associates, it did not yield evidence sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that any FBI or CIA officials intentionally furthered a Clinton campaign plan to frame or falsely accuse Trump of improper ties to Russia, nor did it reveal sufficient evidence to prove that the omission of the Clinton plan intelligence from applications to the FISC was a conscious or intentional decision, much less one intended to influence the court's views of the facts supporting probable cause. Moreover, any attempted prosecution premised on the Clinton plan intelligence would face what in all likelihood would be insurmountable classification issues given highly sensitive nature of the information itself. In sum, the government's handling of the Clinton plan intelligence may have amounted to a significant intelligence failure and a troubling instance in which confirmation bias and a tunnel vision pursuit of investigative ends may have caused government personnel to fail to appreciate the extent to which uncorroborated reporting funded by an opposing political campaign was intended to influence rather than inform the FBI. It did not, all things considered, however, amount to a provable criminal offense.